Private helicopter makes forced landing at Abelinke in Accra.
Minority in Parliament says government must absorb more of approved fees for new SHS students.
And troops in Cameroon free 900 hostages.
Good evening, you're welcome to the studios of GBC24 and GTV. This is when we update you on events around our world. I'm Akushika Akwe.
And I'm Conrad Kakraba, and Clement Sam is doing the sign language translation.
A private helicopter on its way to Accra from the western region was this morning forced to land at the Abelinke Basic School in Accra. The helicopter, a 9G AEP, took off from Adamus Resources, a mining facility in the western region, and was heading for the Kotoka International Airport with a paid load, but was forced to make the emergency landing after the pilot detected a technical fault.
No one was injured in the incident. It is the second incident in the country to hit the country this year, and last January an Ethiopian airline cargo plane on its way to Accra from Lome, Togo crash landed at the Kotoka International Airport.
When GBC24 got to the Abelinke Basic School Park, officials from the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority and the police were conducting their investigations. The Director of Safety Regulation of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Daniel Akwa, gave an account of the incident.
The pilot had a warning sign on his annunciator. That's something that looks like a dashboard of a car. He had this warning, and then he decided to land the aircraft rather than forcing to go and land at the airport, because anything at all could have happened in between the two. So he rather saved the situation.
GBC24 spoke with the Assistant Headmaster of the school, Mr. William Yomewu.
Even they nearly hit the roof of the building, so they managed straight and landed forcefully. It nearly hit the as you can see, it nearly hit the wall. So as a result of that, it attracted our children from the classroom. Initially, we thought maybe we had some officials from somewhere visiting the school, but not knowing it was an emergency landing.
Reports say there were two people, including the pilots on the helicopter, carrying a paid load, and both are safe.
The minority in Parliament on Wednesday insisted that government should absorb more than 9.3% of approved fees for students. The minority says the government's claim of free education for SHS absorbs less than 10% of the approved fee for fresh students entering the senior high school. Given the development, the minority is asking the House to compel the government to increase the percentage of the admission fee paid for fresh students.
Debate on the financial policy of government for the 2016 fiscal year centered on communication, agriculture and education. The minority challenged the majority's assertion that Ghana will soon have an 11th university. Out of the figure, the Mahama-led administration is credited with 7.
We are saying that out of the 27 cost items for a day student, the government is offloading only 10 of them. These 10 of them amounts to 38 Ghana cedis out of the 405.5 Ghana cedis approved fee. What it means is that government is only offloading 9.37%. Do we call this one free? No. Do we call this one free? No. We approved that the admission fees of first year day students will be absorbed. Mr. Speaker, I think our mandate, our constitutional mandate, must compel the finance minister to do that, because they've only put in 12 million Ghana cedis instead of the 18 million. Items are the school uniform, the house basis, and extra books. Parents are expected to buy these items for their work. That is what we call it progressive fee. We'll get there. And so, Mr. Speaker, if you see in this House, the second term, the students are going to go to school almost for free. Your second term fee is 75 Ghana cedis. and the rest of the items are PTA agreed by the Parent and Teacher Association to contribute to their welfare of their own children.
The majority praised the government for its overall interventions in the agriculture sector, but the minority disagrees in view of the significant drop in the marine sector stock and a fall in cocoa production from 1 million metric tons to 700,000 metric tons, whilst the majority attributed the fall in cocoa to challenges in weather patterns. The minority says it is due to low producer prices and a cut in chemical supply.
An innovative way of training teacher trainees is expected to be rolled out for the next 4 years. The move is expected to deliver high-quality teaching and learning, especially at the pre-tertiary level of education in the country. Vice President Kwesi Arthur, who launched the program TTEL, asked implementers to ensure a transformation of the colleges of education and their products, with an emphasis on mathematics and science to help speed up national development. Here's a story by Nuto Bibinuto.
Government's intervention in building new schools to augment efforts by faith-based institutions and private entities have improved access to basic education in the country. But access has not been complemented with the required quality teaching and learning cognizant of modern trends. The problem has been traced to the root cause, being the lack of proficiency in the basics by teacher trainees, who therefore are unable to inspire and educate children at a pre-tertiary level. It is to avert this trend that the United Kingdom has partnered government with a £17 million aid to develop a program known as TTEL. The program is aimed at tackling the problem head-on. According to the partners, TTEL will improve the management and pedagogy in all 43 colleges of education in the country, improve and avail standard teaching and learning materials, as well as inject innovation into teacher education. Vice President Kwesi Arthur, who launched the program, asked that the program should promote female teacher development and designed to get more students interested in mathematics and science.
Teachers have graduated from their training institutions feeling inadequate about a particular subject. Their own ability to teach it is impaired, and the fears and anxieties are transmitted to their students, who replicate it from generation to generation to generation. That's what we find in science and numeracy in our schools. The teacher himself has the O-levels with a grade 6. We went to college afraid of the subject of mathematics, and he's barely passed it. And so when he goes there, that is the last thing he wants to teach, and he's supposed to teach it. And therefore, we have a lot of students, many students, who are unable to express themselves in those subjects. And we need to do something about it. And I hope that TTEL is going to do something about science and math teaching.
A major step towards this overhaul is a review of the Diploma in Basic Education curriculum, which teacher trainees believe holds the key to quality education.
They've taught us strategies and methods whilst we are going out to teach. That is using the activity base in the classrooms. Also, they're using the electronic gadget like maybe the tablets, the phone. We googling to webs and search for other things, making learning very interesting nowadays. Yeah. So we are part of the lesson, not a teacher just entering and lecturing us, but we've been part of the lesson and getting the understanding.
In all, standards of both the colleges of education and their products will shore up, with a replica effect expected in the quality of pre-tertiary education in the country. Muto Bibini Muto, GBC24, Accra.
Taking now to northern Ghana. Ghana has lost 7 million hectares of rainforest in the last 50 years. To slow down deforestation, the government introduced a policy which saw the distribution of free liquefied petroleum gas LPG cylinders and stoves to some communities in the northern region. GBC24's Abdul Hai Mumin reports that the initiative, notwithstanding the indiscriminate cutting down of trees for fuel wood, still continues, with the practice on the increase, especially along the Fufu Sosola Road, the Yendi Tamale Road, and in Gushiu.
The demand for charcoal and firewood has increased because of the high cost of refilling LPG cylinders, whereas a bag of charcoal sells between 15 and 18 Ghana cedis. It costs 20 Ghana cedis to refill 6 kilograms of LPG cylinders. Charcoal and firewood are considered as the cheapest energy supplies used for big events like weddings, naming ceremonies and funerals in the northern region. In an attempt to discourage charcoal burning, the government procured already filled 6 kilograms liquefied petroleum gas cylinders and stoves for free distribution to some selected individuals in the northern region. Despite government's free distribution of liquefied petroleum gas cylinders and stoves to eliminate the practice of burning wood for charcoal in northern Ghana, the trade has not stopped. The practice has escalated, especially along the Fufuoso Solar Road, the Tamale Yendi Road, and in the Gushewu Township. Achibino is a community along the Fufuoso Solar Highway. According to the charcoal dealers here, the cost and inconvenience involved in refilling LPG cylinders in the area is what is encouraging the business to thrive. Charcoal dealers, including truck drivers and the people popularly referred to as loading boys, say dealing in charcoal is their only means of making a living. Gushewu is one of the districts well known for the cutting down of trees for the purposes of making charcoal and firewood. The Environmental Protection Agency and the Gushewu District Assembly are now up in arms against the practice.
As part of our campaign to stop them, we have engaged those women who have been doing this into our climate change, to let them know that it is not, we have climate change and the GSOP, that is the Ghana Social Opportunities Projects, and that is a labor base. And so we have climate change under that. And under that climate change we have 15 for this year, 15 for 2015 we have 15 projects. And so we have engaged these particular leaders that we have identified cutting these trees to plant those trees.
There is no denying the fact that northern Ghana is one of the places where there is high incidence of bush burning, charcoal production and indiscriminate felling of trees for fuel wood and building purposes. This has led to erratic rainfalls, including unpredictable rainfall patterns or poor rainfall, both in volumes and distribution, increasing incidence of pests and diseases, both on crops and livestock, low crop yields, and extinction of some animals and plant species. Perhaps simply distributing gas cylinders to people in rural areas does not present a permanent solution to the problem of cutting down economic trees for charcoal. Abdulhai Mumin, GBC24, Achibino.
The vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, has described as inaccurate claims by President Mahama that the MPP accrued 41% of Ghana's total debt. In Accra on Wednesday, Dr. Bawumia told newsmen that the Mills administration is responsible for 90% of the entire public debt.
Is that 90%, that is 89.5 billion of Ghana's total debt since independence, 90% of it has been accumulated by this NDC government between 2009 and 2015. Just the last 7 years, they have accumulated 90% of Ghana's total debt. Recently, the President, His Excellency John Mahama, stated that 41% of Ghana's external debt of $14 billion was accumulated by the MPP government between 2001 and 2008. Now when I heard this, I thought I had misheard. I really could not believe what my ears.
A proposed public sector reform document to promote efficiency, effectiveness and value for money within the public sector was fine-tuned in Accra on Wednesday. This process is part of demands by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) for Ghana to set a structural reform benchmark that must be implemented in 3 years. The document will be presented to the country's lawmakers for consideration before recess at the end of the year.
The public sector employs the majority of the country's working population. This makes it a priority on government's distribution list of resources, logistics and budget allocations. However, it is always sharply criticized for not meeting productivity. The $918 million intervention by the International Monetary Fund to support Ghana's budget comes with conditions and requirements. And one is for Ghana to design and develop a comprehensive national public sector reform strategy. This is, among other things, streamline the size, operations and increase efficiency in the public sector. A 9-member task force was set up to see to the implementation of the policy to start in 2016. The chairman of the Public Sector Commission, Mrs. Bridget Katriku, spoke about the need for the reforms to help strengthen the public sector. The Minister of State in charge of public sector reforms, Mr. Al-Hassan Azong, said when approved, the reforms will give the sector a better image and improve on productivity. The document proposes for the revival of the Public Sector Reforms Ministry, and participants are calling for the separation of the Attorney General's office from the Ministry of Justice, public awareness on the proposed reforms, better citizens' participation to include non-state actors, and designated places to report acts of corruption, among others.
On December 15, the National Media Commission and major partners will organize a national seminar to discuss drawing up guidelines for religious broadcasting in the country. Announcing the event in Accra, the chairman of the National Media Commission, Mr. Kwesi Appington, said the guidelines are currently a draft and expect that the seminar will adopt guidelines for religious programs on all radio and television stations in the country.
For the past 1 year, the National Media Commission and the National Communications Authority, the Religious Broadcasting Advisory Council of GBC, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, and the leadership of the various faiths have worked on guidelines for religious broadcasting in the country. It is currently at the first draft stage, and to ensure that it serves the interest of all religious groups in the country, the NMC is organizing a national seminar to share thoughts on the document before it is adopted. The chairman of the National Media Commission, Mr. Kwesi Appington, said it is important for all parties to agree on the final document before its adoption.
We need everybody to participate so that at the end of it, we will have guidelines that are suitable for our country, for our times, and for our purposes.
The National Communications Authority presented a check for 15,000 Ghana cedis to the Religious Broadcasting Advisory Council to support the organization of the seminar.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has urged mining companies in the country to actively collaborate with the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission to ensure best practices in their operations. Ni Osamils was speaking at the annual National Intermine Safety and First Aid Competition at Damang in the Western region. He said even in the face of falling gold prices, health and safety in the mining industry must not be compromised.
The safety and well-being of employees, contractors and local communities is a fundamental concern in the mining sector. The Ghana Chamber of Mines is therefore mandated by law to ensure that mining companies in the country comply with all health and safety regulations. The National Intermine Safety and First Aid Competition under the auspices of the Ghana Chamber of Mines and the Minerals Commission was to create awareness on the importance of ensuring health and safety at all times. The competing teams were the Goldfields Ghana Diamond Mine, Chan Gold Mines Limited, Adamos Resources Limited and Golden Star Wasa Limited. The fourth position was taken by Adamos Resources Limited. In the community teams category, the Ghana Manganese Company emerged the winner, while Goldfields Ghana Diamond Mine took the second position. The Golden Star Wasa Limited came third, with the Golden Star Bugosu Prestia taking the fourth position. The general manager of the Goldfields Ghana Diamond Mine, Mr. Marcus Brewster, said the company will continue to uphold high safety standards.
I'm a passionate believer in safety beginning at home. And we need to build our lives with the aim of a zero-harm environment in everything that we do, 24 hours a day.
The Director of Communications and External Affairs of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Mr. Ahmed Nantuma, said the mining sector contributed 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to the national kitty last year.
Is it treason that a fraction of rare mineral receipts are retained offshore to procure capital goods, service debts, and other international liabilities? However, viable data from the Bank of Ghana indicates that more than proportionate share of the proceeds reserved from exports are brought back into the country through the Bank of Ghana and the commercial banks.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Neo Samuel, said government will continue to encourage investors to diversify the country's mineral base for increased revenue.
The Cabinet approved a mining policy for Ghana in November 2014. Ghana's minerals and mining policy, just referred to, seeks to establish a comprehensive framework to ensure that mining contributes to sustainable development of the country.
A juvenile sperm whale has washed up at the Atuabo beach in the Elembele district of the Western region. It is not clear how the whale died, but community members say it is possible that work on the offshore oil and gas field may have a part to play. When GBC24 got to Atuabo, some youth who had come to the beach with cutlasses and axes to chop up the whale to make it easier to wash back into the sea were unable to, due to the stench from the already rotten marine mammal. Members of the community are hoping that the sea will wash back the dead mammal. The Dunkwa District Police Command has apprehended 3 suspected armed robbers. Chief Superintendent Prince Wabu said they were arrested at Atuchim in Dunkwa when they were about to rob a house occupied by Chinese nationals. 2 pump-action guns and cartridges were retrieved from them. One of the suspected armed robbers managed to escape, and the police is continuing with the search to effect his arrest. This is News Hour on GBC24 and GTV. We'll be back with business news.
A very good evening. We bring you up to speed with happenings from the world of business. This package is brought to you by EcoBank, Airtel and Hisense. Later in the bulletin, we'll be having an exclusive interview with Goyle, and we'll be talking about the oil marketing sector and deregulation. But before that particular interaction, First Capital Plus Bank is now Capital Bank. The change of name and colors reflects steps taken by the management of the bank to make it more competitive and viable in the banking sector.
The journey of First Capital Plus Bank started in 2009 as a savings and loans company, but within the space of 4 years, it grew into a fully fledged bank with the brand name First Capital Plus Bank. 2 years into its operations as Universal Bank in Ghana, First Capital Plus Bank now has 384 staff strength, 18 branches, 329 million Ghana cedis deposits, and an assets base of 900 million Ghana cedis as of September 2015. Today, First Capital Plus Bank has taken another giant step by changing its corporate name and image. The bank is now known as the Capital Bank with a new corporate identity of red, black and white and the tagline of value for you. The board chair of the Capital Bank, Dr. Mensa Otabal, said the new outlook will come with dynamism in products and services. The chief executive of the Capital Bank, Reverend Fitzgerald Odonko, said the bank is now better placed to roll out services that will meet the needs of both the bank and the unbanked in the society.
The vision at this stage of our growth trajectory is to become the local bank of excellence for African markets, providing the standard of measure for stakeholder return with the strategic goal of becoming a Tier 1 bank within the next 5 years and expanding the frontiers of the bank across the African market.
The governor of the central bank, Dr. Henry Kofi Wampa, urged the directors to make more vibrant their products and services.
The cost of visibility tends to be capital depleting and may not be sustainable in the long run. In the case of viability, this is what will keep you in business and ensure that we can meet again a few years down the road to measure progress against the high objectives you have set for yourselves.
The Vice President, Kwesi Misa-Arthur, underscored the need for the bank to make customer care the bedrock of its operations.
To be able to achieve the targets that the MD has set, you need a set of well-designed products and services, an appropriate technological platform, and dedicated and well-trained staff who are able and willing to do something extra to meet customer demand and aspirations. You have to explore the need for increased capitalization, even if today you have enough capital.
Directors of Capital Bank say the red color in its new outlook connotes life, strength, power, and determination. Black means power, elegance, passion, and white is associated with light, goodness, purity, and life, while the C means creativity, confidence, and courage.
Business Live on GBC24. Now, Ghana Oil Company Limited is one of the major players in the oil marketing industry with over 50 years in operations. Now, GOIL has the largest retail network in the country, with marketing of diesel and gasoline accounting for the bulk of its revenue. As the year draws to a close, we are looking into the operations of GOIL to see how the company has fared in the wake of stiff competition following deregulation introduced by the NPA some 6 months ago. We have in the studio for the discussion Mr. Alex Azil, renowned oil marketer and the current fuels marketing manager for GOIL. A very good evening to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Right. There is no doubt that deregulation was one of the key variables that shaped the oil marketing sector in this particular year. How did it affect operations of GOIL?
The deregulation came somewhere in June 16th.
Right.
And when it came, people were very, very apprehensive as to whether prices were going to go up because the government has taken its hands off the pricing of petroleum products.
Right.
When it started, what happened was that most of the oil marketing companies, increased their prices, but with GOIL being an indigenous company, Ghanaian as we are, we maintained our prices between a period from June 16th to about July 15th. We maintained our prices. We even had to cut down on our margins to the company so that we could stabilize what was happening on the Ghanaian market. Thankfully, most of the oil marketing companies, when they realized that GOIL had maintained their prices, also came down. And so I would say that the deregulation has come at a very good time. It has helped stabilize prices in the country.
Okay. Yeah. You stated that you maintained your prices because you were an indigenous company. Really, whether you are indigenous or you are private, you both buy the same fuel from the same market. So did you lose in that regard?
What we did was to cut down on our margins. We did not lose, but we cut down on our margins in order to bring some comfort to the consuming public.
Well,
and the public paid us back by mass patronage at our stations.
And so how has patronage been so far?
It's been really good. Our market share continues to go up, and I believe that it has come at a very good time.
Okay, and let's speak about your services and products. What really do you offer to Ghanaians, GOIL?
Yeah, I would say that GOIL offers very high quality products. We offer Super XP, Diesel XP. These are diesel and super products that have been additivated.
What measures did you put in place to ensure that 2015 pans out well and your shareholders get to benefit?
Yes, on the contrary, I would say that 2014 was significant improvement over our 2013 operations, because of the rebranding. It was very, very successful, most of our stations, the volumes went up, and therefore it also translated into profit. Coming into 2015, we've done a lot, to improve upon our services at the various stations and the whole outlook, and what we are doing to let everybody know that yes, a Ghanaian company can be up there and be competing with the very best wherever you go in the world.
Right. We'll be wrapping up on this conversation very soon, but how has competition affected our business? Deregulation, brought in competition in the oil marketing sector.
Yeah, we are not scared of competition. Competition always brings out the best in oil marketing companies. Being an indigenous oil marketing company, we are very proud to be a Ghanaian company. We are doing very well in the company. We have over 100 competitors, competing on the market. Right. But I must say that because of the niche that we have created for ourselves, we are able to market products in such a way that people are now patronizing. In fact, Ghanaians have come to realize that indigenous companies like GOIL can go out there and compete effectively. And they are rewarding us back by, by patronizing our stations. And then additionally, we are also churning out products that are of very good quality. Okay. Anybody who comes to our station will see the station outlook. Checks are done in terms of quality checks are done at our stations to ensure that products that get to our customers are of the highest quality. And one of the things that I want to emphasize is that the additives that we put into our products, we still sell these products at the same price as normal fuel, and because of that, people get value for the money they spend at our stations. Additionally, we ensure that the pumps deliver very, very, very accurate readings. When you buy 10 liters, make sure that you are offered 10 liters. And the public has actually gained confidence in all this, and they are rewarding us massively.
Right. Well. I think you've said so much already, but really, why should I drive past other oil marketing companies and come and fuel my car at a GOIL station?
Yes, there are a number of reasons why you should stop and fuel at GOIL service stations. Number one, we offer very good quality products. The additives are from the US, well-known XP lab in the US, and then we put these additives in there at the same price. Now what it does is that it enhances the fuel efficiency. When you are driving, you have the fuel efficiency. It cleans your engine. It is environmentally friendly. It has a very important property we call the water dispersing property. It disperses the trace of water in your fuel so that the fuel is able to burn efficiently. These are added values that customers get when they get to our station. In addition to that, we have, when you get to the GOIL service stations, now we are very, very honest and sincere with our customers. The prices you see on our signages are the same prices you see on the pumps. We make sure that the customers get whatever value they get. And I want to say that when you buy from GOIL, you are helping to grow the Ghanaian economy. It is a wholly Ghanaian, enterprise, company, and we grow the economy. The money stays in here. We develop our country and all that. So there are very, very good reasons, why you should come to, GOIL service station and buy from us.
Right. Thank you very much. And so Mr. Alex Azil is the fuels marketing manager of GOIL. We have been talking about GOIL and deregulation. We will go over to the interbank market and get you latest from that market. We also bring you latest price of gold, cocoa and oil on the international commodities market. And I'll do for business, brought to you by EcoBank, Airtel, and Hisense.
Now some health news brought to you by FPAC. FPAC blows your pain away. The government is to start a national campaign on getting everybody tested to encourage all to know their HIV status. The chair of the Council of State, Mrs. Cecilia Johnson, says the initiative will bring HIV services to the doorsteps of persons living with the disease. The statement came in a speech at the National Derby in Sunyani to mark World AIDS Day.
The 2015 global theme for World AIDS Day is ending the AIDS epidemic as part of the Sustainable Development Goals. With these targets, countries are being encouraged to fast-track the pace to end the AIDS epidemic over the lifespan of the Sustainable Development Goals. Based on the global theme and through stakeholder consultation, Ghana has agreed on the sub-theme, Fast Track Meeting the Health Needs of Children Towards an HIV-Free Generation. The Bonahafo Regional Minister, Mr. Eric Opoku, lauded the theme, saying that an HIV-free generation will allow Ghana to maximize investment and focus on other activities. The Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Deborah, commended the AIDS Commission for introducing a 5-year strategic plan to ensure a low rate of the infection. The Deputy Minister for Health, Dr. Victor Bampo, said the ministry will partner stakeholders by providing technical expertise to successfully eliminate the epidemic. The chair of the Council of State, Mrs. Cecilia Johnson, spoke about the rationale for the sub-theme.
World AIDS Day reminds us to unite in driving down stigma and discrimination against people infected and affected by HIV, to unite in showing support to persons living with HIV and keep the memory of loved ones who have died from AIDS alive in our hearts.
In a sketch, the Tano Agrofoma educated all on the dangers of shying away from getting tested and knowing one's status. AIDS ambassador and his wife, Reverend and Mrs. Azuma, shared some thoughts on how stigma and discrimination affect persons living with HIV. They called on the government to make antiretrovirals and services available for their survival.
And from the Volta region, figures from the HIV Sentinel Surveillance Report show that Ho recorded an increase in the prevalence rate from 0.6% in 2013 to 4% last year. The same report shows that the Volta region also recorded a significant increase in prevalence rate. This year's Volta Regional commemoration was unique as the Regional Coordinating Council and the Ho Municipal Assembly jointly marked the day. With the country making good progress towards eliminating HIV and AIDS, stakeholders were encouraged to step up the effort. The Volta Regional Technical Support Officer of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Mary Anyomi, said apart from Ho, which recorded a sharp increase, areas including Hohwe, Krachi and North Tong districts, which hitherto had high cases, recorded a reduction in the prevalence rate last year. She said children living with HIV must access pediatric care and reminded all to ensure that no child is born with HIV since vertical transmission was preventable. The Home Municipal Chief Executive Fafa Adinyira called for a comprehensive treatment and care services for all HIV-positive children to end AIDS among children and to prevent avoidable deaths. The health segment was brought to you by FPAC. FPAC blows your pain away.
Troops have freed 900 hostages captured by the Nigerian Islamist militant group Boko Haram. Cameroon's Defense Minister Joseph Betty Asomo said his forces had also killed around 100 Boko Haram members at the end of November. There has been no independent confirmation of the operation in Cameroon's remote far north region. It is not clear exactly where the clashes took place or where Boko Haram's captives had been held. It is also not known whether those freed included any of the more than 200 schoolgirls seized by the militants in their dormitories in Chibok, Nigeria last year. We'll be back to continue.
Of sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. This is in partnership with Tobinco Pharmaceuticals Limited, producers of Lunat. Members of Ghana's victorious 1965 Africa Cup of Nations squad say they are ready to relive the glorious moment come Friday, December 4. They will play Asante Kotoko for the Golden Jubilee Celebration Soccer Fiesta. Jubilee celebration of the 1965 Africa Cup of Nations winning team will take place in Accra. It begins on December 3 with a fundraising dinner for the 10 surviving members of the squad at the Sun Lodge Hotel in Accra. It is capped with a football match slated for December 4 at the Accra Sports Stadium between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Ghana's 1992 AFCON silver medal winning team. At a press conference, representatives of Kotoko and the 1992 AFCON squad promised to win.
Kotoko will beat Senegal 1992 squad. He is bragging. We will display our natural talent come Friday.
Medimosis Medical Center will always support the old players. A member of the organizing committee, Dan Kwekuyebwa, said all is set for a memorable event.
I've been reliably informed by the technical team of Kumasi Asante Kotoko that they are coming with all their arsenals. As regards the 1992 silver medal team, that with the exception of Salif Wansan, who has departed to eternity, every member of the Senegal 92 team is part of the celebration. From Abedi Pele through Tony Aboa, Stanley Abora and Isaac Asari are expected to arrive tomorrow from Belgium.
The top scorer at the 1965 AFCON, Reverend Osei Kofi, was grateful to all for the honor done them.
The government in Lanka was a GFA for a culture. Unfortunately, the president of Ghana Football Association, Black Stars belongs to the government. And you are the caretakers of the Black Stars.
Also, legendary Ghanaian coach Jones Atukwefiu, who was also a member of the 1965 Africa Cup of Nations winning squad, and CK Jimfi will be celebrated. In tennis, Ghana's #1 tennis seed George Daku has added another trophy to his cabinet. The All-Africa Games gold medalist produced a strong performance to win this year's Accra Seniors Tennis Open Championship. The 13th edition of the Accra Seniors Tennis Open Championship climaxed in the last weekend of November at the Accra Long Tennis Club. The two-day championship attracted a number of tennis players aged between 30 and 70 within the Greater Accra region and its environs. They competed in men's singles and doubles as well as ladies singles and doubles. In the men's 30 to 39 singles final, Sami Saibu defeated Ismaili 6-1, 6-1, with Dua Jani retaining his crown by beating Dr. Banka 6-7, 7-5 in the men's 40 to 49 age category. Lawrence Lati won 5-7, 6-3 and 10-4 against Kobe Brew in the men's 50 to 59 singles final, whilst Nanaya Wapau beat Joe Padmo 6-5. In the 50 to 59 men's seniors doubles, Mr. Jani partnered Sami Saibu to beat Thomas Zakok and Kobe Brew to win the men's seniors doubles. Kofi Boachi combined with Nanaya Wampao to annex the 60 to 69 men's seniors double, with BSN Afram partnering Sabananan to win the 70 years and above men's seniors double. In the ladies double, Portia Osabute combined with Abigail Odoi to emerge winners, with Isaac Dapa and Keita Boaji winning the mixed doubles. The final matchup was between Ghana's #1 seed George Daku and Daniel Kwoti, who beat the defending champion Wisdom Na Drago. The top seed Daku used sparse serve and speed to defeat Kwoti 7-6, 6-2 to emerge winner of the Japan Motors sponsored tournament. Daku took home a trophy and an amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis cash prize. All winners took home products from the sponsors as prizes. That's all for sports.
welcome to the entertainment and arts segment of the news. My name is Micheline Taka. Ghanaian dancehall artist Abubakar Razak Isahaku, popularly known as Iwan the Lyrical Gunshot, says he believes he changed the face of dancehall when he penetrated the industry with the theme he claims defined an original dancehall artist. He and the reggae festival team were guests on Showbiz segment on GBC24.
On the floor, girl I get set and give me a run. Why when nobody like an Indian girl, bend down slow and do the dirty dance. Fire, 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 fire in the whole place burning. Fire, 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 fire. This is I want fire GBC.
My definition of reggae dancehall is conscious music. It's a music that talks about reality, our everyday life. It doesn't lie. It presents the issues up to your face like that. So for me, that is why people are the energy of people are gradually sticking to dancehall than most of the genre of music, because they hear direct issues, you understand? They hear factual things, you know, real things. You know, at first people thought when you do a song in English language, it's not going to cut across and all that, you understand? But with the likes of Iwan and songs like Thanks and Praise, Who Is Bad, I kind of broke that kind of, yeah, and now people could do 100% English and they could still...
And they were selling.
Yeah.
What should Ghanaians expect?
It's a fully packed event. We're going to educate the youth through music, like reggae dancehall. So
why the focus on the youth?
The youth, because they are the ones who get involved with this reggae dancehall business. And as you know, reggae dancehall has gained weight in the country right now.
I want don't play, the Gideon don't play. I'm a king in my world, let me take what is rightful mine. Ghetto youth can't lose, straight from Newtown me can't lose. Yeah man, you better know that I can't lose. Remember, this Friday, 4th December at Sakumono Calabash is going to be mad, you know.
And we thank you for keeping company with us.
Have a good evening.